Birthday ends in brutal mauling. Texas woman tragically killed by her own notoriously aggressive pit bull on her 32nd birthday. Simone Lyke, a 32-year-old woman from San Antonio, Texas, was fatally mauled by her own male pit bull on the night of July 24. The attack occurred around 11 p.m. on the balcony of her apartment, where witnesses described the dog as having a history of aggressive behavior. Join us as we take a deep dive into this story on the AI podcast.
Imagine this scene, just filled with grief. A 32-year-old Texas woman, Simone Lyke. It should have been her birthday celebration, but instead, it tragically became the day she passed away.
And the cause is just shocking.
Exactly. The shocking, heartbreaking part. She was brutally attacked by her own pet pit bull.
Mm-hmm.
So today, we're taking a deep dive into this. It's incredibly complex, really profoundly sad.
It really is.
Our mission here is to try and cut through some of the noise, to pull out the crucial bits of knowledge from, well, quite a stack of sources.
Right. Police reports, animal care services statement.
Yeah, neighbor accounts, even some really raw, emotional social media posts from her family.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't just about exactly what happened step by step. It's also about these conflicting stories emerging, the layers underneath.
And what it all means for you, the listener, right? Thinking about the huge responsibilities that come with owning a pet.
Absolutely. It's a stark reminder, isn't it,
Yeah.
of the immense power and sometimes the unpredictability that can come even with pets we cherish.
Especially certain breeds, perhaps, and just how fast a situation can turn catastrophic.
Okay, let's unpack this. The immediate horror, it unfolded around 11 p.m. on July 24th.
Right.
This was on the balcony of Simone Lyke's apartment in San Antonio. She was reportedly trying to move her dog, a male bully breed, outside. A friend was visiting.
And that's when it seems the dog got aggravated.
That's what reports suggest. And then this everyday action, moving the dog, it just tragically escalated.
Yeah, the dog suddenly turned on her.
Yeah.
Launched this incredibly vicious and very, very swift attack.
The details from that night are just harrowing. Neighbors heard Simone's desperate screams, called 911 immediately, and it really speaks to the sheer terror of it all. One bystander actually tried to distract the dog by throwing a pizza at it.
A pizza? Wow.
Yeah.
Desperate measures.
Totally desperate. It apparently diverted the dog for just a moment, but it wasn't enough. Simone herself, she tried using her purse to defend herself.
But was just overwhelmed.
Yeah, completely overwhelmed by the aggression. It really paints a picture of how quickly a familiar pet can become this overwhelming danger.
And first responders, they got there remarkably quickly, sounds like.
They did, yeah, which shows how urgent it was. But even trained officers, they struggled to subdue the pit bull.
Right. There was footage, apparently, showing them battling the dog.
Yeah, reports mention dramatic footage, the dog lunging at them during all the chaos.
It's awful.
And despite being rushed to the hospital, critical condition, Simone sadly died from her injuries on July 28th.
And that date.
That date was her 32nd birthday. Just a horribly cruel twist.
Unbelievable.
So as we dig a bit deeper, into the dog's history, a more complex picture starts to form.
Right.
It suggests this wasn't maybe a totally random, out-of-the-blue incident. Neighbors, they reported seeing previous violent behavior.
A known history of aggression with this specific dog.
Exactly.
But here's where it gets really fascinating, I think. That contrast between what the neighbors were saying, these anecdotal reports, and the official record.
Okay.
Animal Care Services, ACS, in San Antonio, they stated there were no official bite reports filed before this fatal attack. None.
So people saw things, maybe experienced things, but nothing was officially on the books.
Precisely. And that gap, it's not just, a simple discrepancy. It really exposes a potential systemic issue.
How so?
Well, it makes you ask, right? Are there barriers stopping people from officially reporting dangerous animals? Maybe they don't know how,
Or maybe they're hesitant for some reason, like neighbor relations?
Could be. Fear of retribution, maybe. And this lack of formal documentation, it essentially creates blind spots for the authorities. They might not know there's a serious risk until
Something like this happens.
Exactly. Until it's tragically too late.
That's a really vital point. Does that suggest maybe a common problem in how these things get tracked? Or perhaps just people are reluctant until it reaches crisis point?
I think it absolutely points to a problem with several facets. Could be lack of awareness about how to report, like you said. In this case, it just underscores the need for clearer, easier ways for people to make those official reports.
Just for their own safety.
Right, but for the whole community's risk assessment, so you can see patterns, maybe intervene earlier.
Okay, so after the attack, what happened to the dog?
The pit bull was quarantined by ACS, standard procedure, and it remains in their custody while the investigation goes on.
And the ownership. That seems complicated, too.
It does. So Simone Lyke was identified as one of the dog's legal owners.
One of them.
Yes. A second person, also listed as an owner, actually received criminal citations.
Criminal citations, not just warnings.
No, these sound like formal charges, penalties directly related to the dog attack itself, which could mean, significant fines, maybe more.
Okay.
And interestingly, a separate penalty for failing to provide vaccination and microchip records for another dog in their care.
Another dog? So maybe indicating a broader issue with following local animal laws.
Potentially, yeah. It often suggests wider non-compliance.
Okay, so this brings us to the different stories emerging. What does it all mean when you have these conflicting accounts?
It gets messy.
Simone's mother, Simone Lyke, she posted on social media, and her posts are just gut-wrenching.
Understandably.
In one initial Facebook post, this was July 24th, so Simone was still alive, fighting for her life. Suzette was very clear. She claimed the dog wasn't Simone's.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she said it belonged to Simone's boyfriend, and she accused him of telling the police it was Simone's dog.
Wow.
She wrote, and I'm quoting here, "This is my daughter Simone that was mauled by her boyfriend's dog, the Chicken S," and she named him, "told the police it was hers. Pray for my daughter. She is in critical condition."
That's just raw grief and anger pouring out, especially knowing her daughter was still in the critical condition at that moment.
Absolutely. And it immediately highlights this huge gap, right, between the personal experience of tragedy and the official records.
Definitely.
Then, after Simone passed away, her mother shared another tribute, very emotional. She said, "The love of my life is in heaven with her family. Rest, my beautiful daughter. To be absent in the body, now you are present with the Lord."
Just heartbreaking. And, this brings up a really critical point for you, the listener. It's about legal ownership versus how ownership feels or is perceived in a household.
Right. The mother's account is deeply personal, very powerful.
Absolutely. But officials confirm Simone was legally recognized as one of the dog's owners.
So legally, she had responsibility.
Legally, yes. It really points to how vital it is to have clear agreements. Understand who holds the actual legal liability, especially in shared living situations. Doesn't matter who feels like the main owner sometimes.
And do you know if that second owner, the one cited by ACS, was the boyfriend the mother mentioned?
That remains unclear based on the reports we have. The investigation is ongoing.
Right. And you mentioned the investigation. Have there been any arrests?
No, as of the latest reports, no arrests have been made. The authorities are still coordinating, working with multiple law enforcement agencies. It's complex.
Okay.
And if we sort of zoom out, connect this to the bigger picture, this awful event, this fatal mauling, it's definitely reignited some serious concerns.
About owning powerful dog breeds.
Exactly. And the huge responsibilities that come with housing animals like these, especially when there might be past behavior raising red flags.
Even if those red flags aren't officially reported.
Precisely. That's the crux of it, isn't it? It highlights how tricky it is to manage these situations in a community and the potential societal costs when those warning signs are missed or ignored or just not formally documented.
So this whole tragedy, the devastating loss of Simone Lyke, it really just lays bare how all these things connect, doesn't it? Individual pet ownership, community awareness, or vigilance, and the real limitations of official reporting systems.
Yeah.
It leaves us with a heavy question, I think. Beyond the immediate grief, what systemic changes are actually needed? Maybe in animal control, public education, maybe even how we legally define responsibility.
How do we bridge those dangerous gaps?
Exactly. And how do we empower communities, empower people to act proactively, before just observing something dangerous turns into another tragedy like this one?
That's the critical question we need to keep asking.
Should certain aggressive dog breeds like pit bulls be more strictly regulated or even banned in residential areas? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.